That doesn't mean you can't open doors for those doors yourself.
Motivation for the motivated. Motivation for the motivated.
How to position yourself to land a speaking bureau opportunity. You know, speaking bureaus are kind of like the record labels for the speaking industry. A lot of speakers desire with all of their might to be picked up by a speaking bureau. They're calling the speaking bureaus and emailing them and trying to create the content to, position themselves, because they feel like once you get with the speaking bureau, your career is going to go to the next level. It's going to go up a notch. But, in all honesty, if you're not already getting booked to a certain extent, they're not going to even want to reach out to you or pick you up in the first place. Happy to have you here. Your speech was amazing. I didn't hear it, but it looked good. I'm going to listen to it in a minute. But I wanted to speak with you a little bit about your experience with speaking bureaus. Do you have any experience with speaking bureaus? If so, what has it been?
Well, speakers bureaus are interesting, and they like to pay attention to people who are at a certain level in the speaking business because, they refer you, they get a commission, and that's wonderful. My experience has been, I'm not represented by one right now, but I did speak on stage in Washington, D.C., in the same room where they have the press club conference. So it was like really exciting to be there. And I talked to one of the speakers bureaus, and they said they thought I did a great job, but they want somebody who's really on the stage a lot, and that's their full-time job. My business is a lot of consulting, a lot of training, and some speaking. But for people who are a full-time speaker, a speakers bureau can be great because they can get you into places that you might not normally need to be. So my tip for speaking bureaus is find out what they want and don't bother them. Yeah. The reason I say that is because some of them get like 200 different applications a month. I have a friend who runs a speakers bureau, and a really great guy.
That's a lot of applications, 200?
It is. Yeah, it is a lot. They, what they like to do is they like to find somebody who's already got an audience. You've got a great either stage name or stage presence, and you can understand why. They're kind of like agents.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, and some speakers say that, that are on a part of speaking bureaus, that they're not really satisfied with them because they feel like they've just been listed on a directory, and they haven't heard from their speaking bureau in about 6 months.
Well, yeah, that can be the case. I mean, you're part of the roster, and I feel like sometimes speakers bureaus might have favorites, and meeting planners as well. There are people who just get booked over and over again because they have a popular message. And then that's great, except if you're somebody who goes to a lot of meetings, you're like, I heard them already. And it's the same speech a lot of times. So even if you don't have speakers bureaus, can I give you a couple tips for what you can do?
Give us some tips.
All right. So, you can make your own speakers bureau. You can partner with other people if you want and have a regional speakers bureau or refer back and forth. What works well is if you have a group of people who collaborate, but it's not all the same change speakers, but you've got different topics. Another thing you can do is you can join a site like eSpeakers or Speaker Match. If you join these sites, then you'll be listed. So you'll have your profile, which is one of the benefits about being in a speakers bureau. And actually, I didn't tell you the truth because I am on some speakers bureaus. I just thought of that because my listing is on their site. I forgot totally about that.
It just stays there, right?
Yeah, it just stays there, but they're not really, they haven't really contacted me and said, we found a booking for you. And if they do, one of the things some speakers don't like is sometimes they take up to 30% of your fee. So if that's great, if you're billing out at $30,000, well, maybe it's not, because then you're still, you're getting, yeah, that's a lot, yeah. But they can open doors for you, but that doesn't mean you can't open doors for those doors yourself. Hi there, I'm Barbara Rozgonyi. Yes, that is a Hungarian name. My company is Corey West Media, and my blog is Wired PR Works. I've been at it since 2006 with over 1,200 posts at wiredprworks.com. I'm here today to talk about the Wired PR and 4D system. Speakers have a special passion in life, and that is to share a message. But how do you get your message across? And once you have your message, how do you market it? How do you package it to get it out there so that people can find you and learn more about who you are, what you do, and what your call to action is? Well, as a professional speaker, I am also a marketing consultant. So one of the things I thought was, how do I make this easy for everyone? So my program is called Wired PR Works in 4D. That's a program that I present to big groups of people, small workshops, clients, and let's take out the very center of that, which is PR. I like to redefine PR. Most people think public relations. I redefine PR as personality and reputation. So what personality do you have right now? You can take a personality test to find out, or you can really project the personality that you want people to see, keeping in mind that your reputation is always available for people to comment on the internet. So the centerpiece of everything is your personality and reputation, and I want you to own that. The next part is wired, and this system is a 5-prong approach that simplifies the whole marketing process. It's words, intentions, routes, experiences, and design. So words. Words are very powerful, as we all know. And what I would like you to do is have a collection of words, everything maybe from a tagline for your business to keywords that you use for search, even words that you put in your blog, and words that you use in your speeches.
Okay, so are we ready? My name is Frank Caldwell. Thank you for listening today. I represent the I Am Caldwell brand. We are a mental health advocacy platform. We are here to encourage, inspire, and uplift. If you'd like to follow our events and see where we're going to be in the future, please check us out on Instagram at I Am Caldwell Official, on Twitter at I Am Caldwell Official, and on Facebook at I Am Caldwell Official. Also on Facebook, you can find us at I Am Caldwell LLC. So today I want to talk a little bit about the brand. My name is Frank Caldwell, and I am a songwriter, I'm an advocate, I'm an educator, and I also record and release music. Today, I want to talk about my passion, which is mental health advocacy. Surely, as you can see in these times that we're currently living in with the pandemic, the statistic that says 1 in 4 adults will experience mental health illnesses in a year has increased. With everything that's going on now, with the uncertainty of life, the uncertainty of income, these things have really caused us to take a second look at what really matters to us. Now, it may not look good right now, and it may not even feel good right now, but I can assure you that better days are ahead.
So with everything, the pandemic and all that's going on, all of the chaos, even some of the racial stuff, have you pivoted, your business model a little bit? How have you made the pivot?
Well, you actually have to with the pandemic coming and everything shutting down, all the venues are shutting down. There are a lot of artists who are turning to a lot of Zoom, a lot of virtual meetings, or virtual concerts in order to keep their content out there. I think right now it's not so much keeping artistry content as it is keeping positive message content.
But have you looked at joining a speaking bureau, or if not, are you part of a speakers bureau?
I'm actually not part of a speakers bureau as of yet. I do have a very close friend who is out there, Aaron Sean Harper, former NFL player, and he's been out there speaking for a very, very, very long time. I'm working with him. He's given me some insight on which ways I should go in order to make sure that I can continue with my motivational speaking post-pandemic. So we're looking into stuff like that. Yeah.
My name is Jeff Reed, former East Mech graduate, Charlotte, North Carolina, former Tar Heel. Well, I guess I'm not former, I'm a graduate. My claim to fame there, as I get into this a little bit, is I played football with Julius Peppers. I think everybody in the world knows who that is. Obviously, very fortunate to play in the NFL. I was a place kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 10 years, and very blessed to win 2 Super Bowl rings is the reason why you play the game. So basically, I'm here just to tell you I'm a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, amongst other things, and I coach, and I do a lot of fun things to give back. But I think that when you talk about motivation, it comes down to our stories, your story, my story. If you can tell your story, because we all have our talents, we all have hidden talents, we all have things that have knocked us down, but how we get up. I think that's when you talk motivation, I think that's what you want to talk about. I speak normally from the heart. I can speak for 15 minutes, I can speak for an hour. I like to get the audience to interact with me, because ultimately it's not to see if you're paying attention, it's just to see how much you want to dig on me, because I'm an open book. I chat and speak to anyone from young kids all the way up to CEOs and an older crowd, because I can relate to all of them, and I'm sure they can all in one way or another relate to me. And I try to give the best messages I could possibly get to just, if you got a room full of 100 people, let's just say easy numbers, 5 people get something out of it, even 1 person, you've done your job. And so that's why I truly believe in motivational speaking, because it's not hard for me to tell my story. It may change from time to time, but ultimately it's coming from my heart, and it is the true story. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I am here to strictly let you know that things before the NFL were pretty cool. Man, I made it to the NFL, never thought I would. And then after the NFL, you get trying times, regardless of people wanting you to, sign autographs, which is really cool, take pictures, really cool, get paid to do certain things, really cool. There's a side of after the business, even during the business, it's very trying, and it took me years to open up about it. And I think that's ultimately why I chose to do motivational speaking, because everyone needs to see all kind of sides, and it depends on the audience how deep I get.
Since the pandemic, everybody's had to pivot their speaking business. So how have you pivoted your speaking business, since the pandemic, and what's been different for you? What's changed?
Well, the biggest thing is I was just getting, not that I wouldn't say famous and popular doing motivational speeches, but I was getting a lot of recognition. And I got real familiar with Zoom. For a long time, I had no idea what that was. And I knew the FaceTime and all that stuff, but I got real familiar with Zoom, have a little spot in the house where I always go if I have a Zoom, because I know it'll be quiet. But, you can still get a message across. It's a lot tougher, because when you see whether it's 5 people or 500, when you're speaking, you can feel the energy or feel like you need to pick it up a little bit or tone it down, So that's the tough part. My speech wouldn't change, but if you feel a certain audience acting a certain way, even if they're not, whether it's, okay, nobody's paying attention, or, man, I grabbed him with that comment, let me run with it. That's the tough part. I think that's the only tough part about virtual is it's nice because you're at home and you can have on pajamas except for like a little collared shirt or something up top. But really, ultimately, I'd much rather be in front of people because it's just a better vibe.
Well, I haven't even heard that kind of a perspective about it, and that's really true, because as a speaker, you're feeding off the crowd a lot.
Absolutely.
The whole element is not even there anymore, so you just have to kind of go through the motions almost.
Yeah, see, I'm the kind of guy that I want people to know me. I'm not going to get up on stage or in front of people or in an auditorium in front of kids and, start screaming at them and tell them they're worthless and say, you got to do this way because this is what made me successful. I'm going to joke with you. I'm going to laugh with you. I'm going to, degrade myself because, ultimately I'm not perfect. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, and I'm sure I'll make more. But the more human you can be to an audience, no matter what the age, the more they're going to open up to you. And that's my biggest thing is if you do virtual, you can't really do that. I mean, you can joke, and then the reaction of 10-second delay, they'll laugh, and you're like, man, that wasn't supposed to be funny. But they already missed that part. Or that's just, so I'm the kind of person that's got to be, I'm going to make you laugh, I'll make you cry with my story, but ultimately I want you to get something out of it. So, because I just want you to know me instead of, if you Google Jeff Reed, Pittsburgh Steeler kicker, I don't want you to judge me or come to a conclusion about me without knowing me.
Well, there's too much of that going on.
It happens all the time.
And lastly, speaking bureaus. Do you have any experience with speaking bureaus? Are you a part of one? If so, why? If not, why not?
Well, I am not. Actually, you opened my eyes to it when you mentioned it before we started doing an interview, so it's probably something I should consider. I do know a lot of motivational speakers. Most of them I've learned something from and got something out of and may use it in my own, It's just kind of like, well, that's what I thought, but he said it, so that makes 2 of us, so I may need to be relaying it to a 3rd person. So I've learned a lot. Merrill Hodge being one of them. Obviously, he's a former Steeler too, but he's on ESPN. He does a ton of stuff with motivational speaking, and just even you learn from pastors. Doesn't mean you have to agree. Doesn't mean you have to be, a Christian. I'm not going to preach to everybody, but certain things that pastors say, whether it's a guy or girl, it doesn't matter. You can take and run with it through motivational speaking because it makes sense. So I should probably consider that. I have not at this point.
That's all good. Because some people don't even feel like that speaker bureaus do anything for them outside of listing them on a directory. half of the speakers don't even hear from them for like 6 months unless you're like in demand.
Oh, yes, I don't, like I said, I don't know enough about it to really say where I should or shouldn't, but it's new to me, so it's always an option.
Yeah, I don't think everybody's saying too much.
Well, I mean, everyone's different. I mean, I know a lot of people that, here's the thing. Being a celebrity, being a former athlete, being a big name, that's great. But we all, like I said at the beginning of my speech, we all have a story.
I put this series together because speakers have a unique opportunity right now. An opportunity to impact the lives of many regionally, internationally, locally, with all that's going on, with the pandemic, this racial stuff. Motivational speakers can really touch the people, touch their souls, provide the content that they need to get to the next level or to get out of the slump they're in or whatever it may be. Once you create content, that's when you become international. You don't even have to get booked on the other side of the world because your voice travels, your content travels. And I wanted to create this series to provide everyone with the outlet, especially for motivational speakers. What is it going to take to get your voice out there? How to monetize your speeches, how to develop your speeches, how to position yourself for a speaking bureau, the whole nine. And hopefully you're in better position after watching these 4 videos. Thank you for watching, and comment, like, subscribe, share it with a speaker friend, or share it with somebody that needs motivation. Thank you. I'm about to mask up and I'm about to go edit some footage. Yeah.